smart for me to quote. Say something we can both agree you wrote. Say something we can export a border boat to an eastern country for abroad to young minds waiting to be taught. Say something that goes past corners, 90-degree angles, concrete blocks, something that isn't sticks and stones but still breaks bones found in rib cages, something to free us from these ages, something not written in these pages. Say 1,000 words to build a new Rome. You see, when in Rome, do as the homies do. They are saying something for the priest who is saying something for the blind follower who doesn't see that.
Boys and girls, good evening and welcome to Kwaharaba Arts Gallery. Are you excited to be here?
Oh yes!
Are you sure you're happy to be here?
Yes!
Amazing, amazing. Before we start, I need to put this across. I know that I already said it like an hour ago. Apologies for starting late. We were having some technical hitches, but they have been, ironed out, and we are bound to start. And if it is your first time coming through here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think you need to put. Let's just put our hands together for making it through tonight. And also a big mention to all people that have worked on the technical side of things. I think they deserve another big gun. A big gun for all the team that have put this thing together. Yeah, if it is your first time coming through, welcome to Kwaharaba Arts Gallery, the home of art, where each and every Wednesday evening we converse with an open mic poetry session, because we believe in sharing our thoughts. We do poetry not necessarily to impress, but to express ourselves, and we have a story to tell. So, if you have come here multiple times, I bet you know the rules. It is a poetry night, so we really would like you to be so fluent in silence. So I'm gonna give you guys like less than a minute to be quiet, like to settle down, like to literally be quiet, because we're about to start. So all of you guys that are probably standing at the back, some are sitting, please, I need you guys to be quiet. We're about to get started, please. And I'm your host tonight. We're gonna be here for at least an hour, and tonight is such a special night. If it is your first time coming through, this is a Viripanganga poetry movement. We started the movement like a year ago, especially because we are celebrating the coming out of a poem by our very own Marumbo Sichinga. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for Marumbo Sichinga. Marumbo Sichinga just released a poem which is titled Poetry in Africa, which pretty much addresses some of the issues, African issues. We are talking about our story, we are living our story. It's just that our story is being told by putting together words which form a form of art which we call poetry. Just a brief background about Marumbo. Concerning his art, he has performed at Lake of Stars in 2015 as well as 2016, yeah? He performed at Tumaini Festival last year. He also performed there this year. Another big hand for that, please. He also performed at Likoma Festival in the year 2016, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I know girls pretty much be like, hey Marumbo, are you single? I think he's taken. I just kind of think like that. I'm not really sure, but I'm yet to find out. We'll surely find out from him. But accompanying his performance, a number of performers as well who have performed at Blantyre Arts Festival. Some of them we are bound to perform at this year's Tumaini Festival. It's just that the Panganga Poetry Movement couldn't make it to Tumaini Festival this year. But we're going to have such an amazing night. Are you ready for some poetry tonight? Are you ready for some poetry tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Starting with this amazing and beautiful lady who's going to recite one poem. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing Brima.
This is my personal opinion, but to me, sin is a man. That kind of man who comes on to you all sweet and you'll be like, I'm taking him to mom. He comes all adorned in loveliness with a scent of holiness just like sin. And you shout, oh yes, of perfection when he smiles at you. But here's the catch. When you're his, he will change. He becomes a cool customer, no longer concerned about you. After all, he's captured you. He goes out in search of other prey. His smoke screen perfection on them he'll lay. To let them realize they've been played. I really don't mean an offense to y'all men out here, because this is my personal opinion. But to me, sin is a man. That kind of man who makes makes you want more. He never gives his all, but just enough for you to come back. He's addictive like coke. With him you feel high, but when he leaves, the downfall will leave you without even a sign. I say, to me, sin is a man. At first a sweet, lovely perfection, but after reflection and infection you need treatment for. No offense, guys. It's just my personal opinion. Thank you.
Another big hand for Prima, ladies and gentlemen. Really amazing. Prima, do you have a boyfriend? By any chance is he around? Oh, you're the boyfriend, Taja. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for the boyfriend, please. The guy in red. Okay, so after performing at the Rise of Spoken Word Poetry on the 11th of December, he also performed at this year's Blanta Arts Festival. 2017 he has released a poem which is titled Origin, which of course you can download on Speedo Poetry. He is known for the poem The System. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing and intelligent Rabi Kundowe.
Just a big shout out to Marumbo Sichinga. I'm really proud of setting this whole thing up, and as a movement Velipanganga, man, we are so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, enough with the ass kissing. This nation is 50 plus, but we are not really free from us, because what they see in us is a little skinny child with hands wide open, an expression of feet be much. The truth is, we enslave ourselves. We are stuck in a mental prison, and it all goes back to us being part of the system. These words were written during the dark days of democracy in the year 1964. 5 years after the revolt that got men killed in a small region of Nkatabe, the birthplace of my grandfather and the ancestors before him. These words were written in the middle of the infamous cabinet crisis, the exile of men. But somehow, the pages of this manuscript survived and sneaked into a century that needs this country recolonized, a century that no longer sees long-lived Kamuzu glowing in the skies. To my surprise, every time I lay my eyes on the black, red, green colors bonded together like family ties, I see the demise and the rise of our sons. But somehow, we will survive. We will survive like Marcus Garvey walking through the whirlwind and the storm. We will survive like Paul Mpio shot in the face outside his home. We will survive like these pages that I said were written before me by a writer unknown. We will survive like Christians reborn, born from Mother Malawi, who mothered this transformation from a Rose Chiwambo to a Joyce Banda, but somehow the pain remains the same. We don't bleed blood, it's envy and hate that runs in our veins. We wear a vast smile that is upside down. We come from a war-torn land, a battlefield, not of which we hear gun sounds shout. We come from the unknown, where part of the people is foul. We are nurtured by secrets, we are kept in the dark because blackouts are allowed. So, we no longer protest because the experience was sour. We are like sons of a lesser God because over here, pain, poverty, and self-love is power. But somehow, we will survive. We will survive like Bob Marley, the Black Survivors, writing that song Survival as the soundtrack of our lives. We will survive because these words survived during the long years of oppression, depression, rejection of tribes, culture, and religion. The long years of genderized ideas and politics as usual. The long years of conscious imprisonment of chameleons and gods. The long years of hunger and furious anger. Now we are that anger, that deep within anger. The anger that pissed off the men in blue with pangas. The anger that deepens the flame in our name. The anger that one day will free us from these chains and survive. We will survive because these words survived during the uprising of Chisiza and somehow sneaked into a generation that's misled by social media, a generation living in theory online, a generation fed by fear and lies, a generation told it is the future leaders of tomorrow, but tomorrow will never arrive. But somehow, we will survive. We will survive from them, we will survive from us. We will survive from this justice and just. The paradox of the rich and the poor swaying justice and just. We will survive simply because we are gold in the dust. We will survive from this plunder of public bread. We will survive from this rush of blood to the head. We will survive despite us being puppets. We will survive from this country's ever bad budgets. We will survive because these words survived during the dark days of non-democracy and somehow eerily sneak into the mouth of a poet reciting this poem tonight to tell you that we will survive like we always do. We will survive like we always do. We will survive like we always do. we will survive.
Ravi Kondoa, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I wrote that poem. Where's the silver bracelet that tallies with her earrings, because it reminds her of how precious life is. She's stardom in her looks, pretty obvious in her purple-lipped hidden books. I bet her pale soft hands can tell her suitor she cooks. She wears black because she is. She got curved in more ways to life than her behind and hips can tell when she's at ease. She's more than just woman. She is human. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the amazing Leme.
Bitter black woman, cooking dinner for men that never come home. Eulogy to an ex-lover, curved in water, flowers on graves undug. You, my dear, look so beautiful in the light. I hold on to you for dear life, yet somehow you smile. Don't turn off the lights. So much unrest lingers in the dark, shadows lurking in the dark. I want to see the glow in your eyes as you show me the scars where your wings used to be. I guess this is what love is. Soft touch, light enough to dance my insecurities away. Do you look at her the same way you did me? But see, baby, my heart is a hospital room heart. It's been broken, robbed, tampered with, held together by shreds of pitch. So I'll ask you one last time. Baby, are you stuck or are you home? Am I something for you to do till the war is over? But you see, baby, my love is heavy. I bring my all. My love is heavy. It bounces off the walls. My heart is feeling things shouldn't be feeling. You can't tame the heart. Trust me, I have tried. If I could, I would gift wrap the sun and give you the world, because my whole being revolves around you. How do you tell these things? Are you the one? And if you are not, where do I find him? But if you die and reincarnate into a flower, I, your soil, you, my sun, I, your moon. I guess this is how angels must feel like, to fly without wings. Hell, that's one heck of a talent. Are you going to be my knight in shining armor, saving me from myself? I'm oblivious, can't place you in my history. Does time heal all wounds, or do we just continue like nothing ever happened? But you see, I took a back seat on love after you. I mean, I cried after you. I mean, a part of me died after you. But you lit the house on fire and I watched it burn with a stone-cold stare. I let my anger fuel the flames and my hurt devour my flesh. So I cut my hair, envisioning your death, contemplating if I should kill her too. So I set the house on fire and watched it burn, and it was glorious. Thank you.
She wears black because she is. Another big gun for me, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Barack Obama once said, the power of poetry is that everyone experiences it differently, and there are no rules as to what makes a great poem. Understanding it is not about metaphors or meter, but how well it connects to people's situations as well as circumstances. So, as a country, we've been through so much, and this year we're celebrating over 53 years of independence. Next year we're going to clock 54 years of independence. Only about 18 months remaining before the tripartite elections. Have we made proper strides as a country? I think that's the question that we need to ask ourselves later, and I believe as for now we don't necessarily have a response to such. But getting back to poetry, the beauty of our poetry is that it gives us the opportunity, the platform to express ourselves and to talk about our issues and to talk about such issues, the ones that I just talked about earlier. This particular person performed on the 11th of December at the Rise of Spoken Word Poetry, and this year also performed at Blantyre Art Festival. It's really amazing. He's buff and everything, he goes to the gym, but he hasn't been working on his tummy. This year has released a poem which is titled Time. You can also download it on Sapira Poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Brian Kalinde, aka Fat B.
Yeah, thank you. I have a three-pack, by the way. One summer night, mother fell deep in rest and never woke up. That summer night, I crouched to bed with broken eyes and a teary heart. We should have known better than to break the news that broke her and held her heart to fragments that never pick up. That hell-hot night, the God's wrath rained from the dark clouds that hovered over above our roof, and this time we knew she was never coming back. We pinned the blame on ourselves. We tortured ourselves. So much grief, so ashamed, we hid our heads under our shoulders. We failed to talk our son out of his naivety. His blood is on our hands. We will never forgive ourselves. I remember it like yesterday, that summer night, too hot to forget. Outside we sat hugging the cold breeze the hot sun had birthed. We talked about everything and nothing, from the harmony of the gospels to politics and the chaos it had birthed. We talked about our youth walking to foreign lands looking for greener pastures like ours was cursed. We talked about a country that was dying to be served, flying in reverse, a crash landing guaranteed, none was safe. The president signing his checks, one parachute, every man dying to be first. We talked about not talking about the stuff we had just talked about. It was dangerous, so we talked about other stories. Like one man told a story about the city of light, the city that never sleeps at night. He told a tale I would tell mother tomorrow first light. Mother had been sick. She was just restoring to light. And little did we know the tragedy nearing to befall upon us. Our neighbor, always the bearer of bad news, called upon us. Something bad had happened to my brother. He told us. I could see his devilish megawatt smile hidden behind his condolence. That summer night, I prayed for a rain that never fell. I prayed for a heaven, its open hell. I prayed for my brother's life, but it was too late. We reached out to my brother's wife, but the agony was too great. So much darkness in the city of life. The reaper walks in the shadows in the city of life. That summer night. Okay, that was unexpected. Now I don't know what to do.
Keep talking about that summer night.
No. I feel like, okay, I'm just gonna do a rap verse. One summer night is done. Okay. Oh, okay. I just wrote this. Goes like, 7 billion souls in the world, but I need real people. A zillion words in the Bible, but there's still more evil. I've seen great men fall just to feed their ego, and ain't no nothing fair about this world, we're not equal. I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I hate my prayers though. And the music kept me sacred, always on a temple. I have a bright dream, can light a room, a melt a candle. I keep it all unharned. As far as fame and dough goes, and 7 billion souls in the world in just one sickle. A lot of people never show you love, they throw you peoples. The only time they stretch their hand, just know it's beneficial. I don't even get surprised. Shit's beneficial. 100 slave queens in my DM, but I love one girl. And I apologize to all the others if their hearts I broke. Sitting on my chair of thoughts, I figured I'm just human. I figured I couldn't find the real me in just one woman. Peace.
Now talking about this guy is single now. So there are probably ladies sitting there and thinking, I need that guy, you can probably go to him. Anyways, another big hand for Brian Kalindi, ladies and gentlemen. Are you having fun tonight? Yes! Okay, a number of people that are here are automation. I need to recognize their presence. A person who's been my mentor, who has given me so much inspiration in everything that I tend to do. He is also the director of Tikamaoko Arts, Taonga Taja and Konjeri. Just raise up your hand. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hi, Taja. Yeah, Taj is very amazing. Wow. Now, after running the movement for close to a year, on the 13th of December this year, we're going to hold an event wrapping up our activities for the year 2017. At the very same time, we are also launching Viripanganga Poetry Movement as a brand. Are you excited for that? Yeah, so 13th of December, we will be here. 3,000 kwacha at the door. Please do come through. Amazing poets are going to be here, and a number of contemporary artists as well. Now, this particular person, we go way back. Got to know him in 2013. We used to have open mic poetry session at a place called Mibawa Cafe. He'll come through every Wednesday for the open mic poetry session until I heard him recite one poem that got through to my heart. Then I realized this is the genesis of another poetry journey. Ladies and gentlemen, he is tall, so are his thoughts. Please put your hands together for Yangi Yangairo.
The poem I wrote on time was one perfect piece. Powerful lines and precise rhymes. Each word was roaring out with premeditated precision like a sharp knife trimming a tree. The poem I wrote on time was copied from the Bible, the calendar of wisdom, the Quran, Hindu inspiration books. The poem I wrote on time admired your lips, your hips, hips that hit my heart so hard. The poem I wrote one time was a clear manifestation of poetic masturbation and political ejaculation. The poem I wrote one time was a dream. Yes, it was a drum, an African dream, calling for peace, calling for unity. The poem I wrote one time was recited at various arts festivals. The poem I wrote one time was childish. The poem was boring, so I just can't recite it. Hence, I'll recite Killers. Killers, cruel killers. I know not why they kill. Killers of the flesh, killers on earth. Killers can kill, can't killers quit killing. Killers can't keep cool, can't keep calm. Killers created crude crocodiles. May 1983, legendary gang of four. Their lives pressurized, scandalized, accidentalized. But never will they be forgotten. How can we forget Dick and Aaron? How can Twibe and David be forgotten? Did they really try to run, to cross the Mwanza border? Was it fun, to take away their innocent lives? Did they use a gun? Questions yet unanswered. Killers, cruel killers. I know not why they kill. Killers of the flesh, killers on earth. Killers can kill, can't killers quit killing. Killers can't change things, killers kill kids, killers can't create dreams. 2004, May, general election, unfair and brutal selection, civil war disguised as demonstrations erupted, the votes we cast manipulated, anger inside concerned citizens was contorted, and Shobi Township was invaded. Not malaria or diarrhea or anemia killing her, but a stray heartless live bullet striking that little baby's belly to death. So young, so innocent, so full of life and happiness. Her sorry story seeps through as this little sister silently sleeps. So I say, sleep, little sister, sleep, for in vain your blood didn't drip. Killers, cruel killers, I know not why they kill. Killers of the flesh, killers on earth. Killers can kill, can't killers kill robbers. Instead they killed Robert, not Mugabe Robert or Ngambi Robert. Killers killed the other Robert, Robert the engineer. Killers, cruel killers, I know not why they kill. Killers of the flesh, killers on earth. Killers can kill, can't killers stop killing scholars. 2001, November. Every morning, every evening, I hear him speak. He's humble, he's meek. He didn't grumble, they said he was weak. He couldn't stand pneumonia, that's how they lied, but the truth we read. Was it time mark or no win and no lose in this streak? Yet when you open your eyes and your ears too, you hear no more lies and no more politics for you, and Davison Matafali will always be alive. Killers, cruel killers, I know not why they kill. Killers of the flesh, killers on earth. Killers can kill, can't killers keep cash in banks? Don't ask. If you ask, they'll kill you.
Clearly, she said, I'll understand when I grow older. Why through her eyes on Saturday nights she never seemed bothered whenever she cued us over her shoulder. To her surprise, the joy that she withheld in order to please him and support her growth had been tampered by the aftermath, though she strictly followed orders. Well, that's what fate ordered. So the heartache lives on inside us. She thinks of all the sweet words and memorable memories my stepfather told her before this marital disorder, which has had us conquered in sorrow, and we can't stop shedding tears on our pillows when morning arrives, just like toddlers. Anyways, amazingly time flies now. After 10 years, she thought she was through that phase of my late father's late night rifles, good night whispers in the dark, his unstoppable drinking and womanizing habits that later saw him 6 feet under, leaving the 5 of us with tales of uncompleted adventures and crowned feasts of vengeance. And then time grasped her what she had longed for. Happiness she had been waiting for, which to us seemed like her first teenage love affair, but hey, so they say love is in the air. So my mom held her breath till her face turned purple for fear of inhaling it. Now I realize it makes her sick. I'll be so damned if I say I'm done living by the bottom. I got these beautiful lies buttoned through my head like a tattoo. I feel her pain every morning, though we don't share. I cry for her broken heart every night, though it seems like I don't care. I leave her loneliness, though this expression is rare. Now past the skies, I render these words to my unborn daughter with hope love will still be there. Baby, you are a fruit from your mother's womb. Daddy sees sunshine through you, so before your life begins, baby, I'm proud of you. So is your mom in her labor pains. I bet she will cry, baby. I'm in love with you, just you. As perfect as you are, I foresee you have your grandmother's eyes. You capture affection dawn from the skies. You see, love hurts, but it is sweeter than coconut and chocolate bars. Not only do beautiful dreams get manufactured in beautiful cars, but from beyond the stars to that one special star among stars. So you are a star among stars, baby. Stop salivating before pride falls in front of you, just for you. Disappointments will play with your heart, tear it apart, but you wrap the pieces in a cloth coated with success, baby. You put it under your pillow, then you sleep on it. Make dreams out of it, free your mind from it, build your children's success stories from it like your granny did. But this time, baby, it will be you, just you. You are on fire, Guten Tag. I want to hear you sing that. You are on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, he launched his album last year at Robins Park. One titled White Elephant. He's here to perform a piece titled Priceless. Ladies and gentlemen, our surprise act for tonight, Theo Thompson.
Hello. It's like I got lost and ended up here. Shout out to Marumbo for this event. I got a song coming out next week, and it's called Priceless, and I thought I'd share a verse of that with you guys, if you guys don't mind. Okay, it's called Priceless. I can't afford you. Arab money can't do too. I need you, won't leave you alone. Everybody's got their own, but you're home. Where else would I be? You're the reason, you're the melody. You're 12, we're 2:45. Statements made, you ain't even gotta speak. It's you, it's all about you. You make my days. It's you, it's all about you. Nothing can trade, I say. Dollars for diamonds. Money goes, you stay the finest. Stack it up, it makes no change. It's 'cause you're not the same. You're priceless.
Just at least a chorus, right? Just a chorus of one of your songs. People just want to hear you sing.
What song? Marumbo. I know that you've been waiting for me to get down on one knee. I admire your patience and everything you mean to me. There's no need to worry. It's not you, it's me. Good things come to those who wait. I want this to last eternity. Yeah.
Leo Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. These are probably the type of guys who will probably tell you words like, maybe when you're 65 with missing teeth and saggy cheeks, maybe I should still look at you with eyes of a low-struck teenager and go like, how you're so young and beautiful. By the way, that's not my poem. That's Luca Mango, poem titled Dear Future Wife. Yeah? Are you ready for Marumbo, Sichinga, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for Marumbo, Sichinga, ladies and gentlemen? Before this gets way much more exciting, it is quite an honor to introduce the next poet right before I call Marumbo Sichinga. Ladies and gentlemen, she's been with us through thick and thin every week coming through. Despite the setbacks, she's been nothing but amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing Gome. You know my hope when you're scrapping it.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Rare breed. Don't tag me, don't label me, don't define me. I am not led and not rare breed. Don't tag me, don't label me, and don't define me. And let not my being be found in your statistics. You try to picture me as what your brains bent me to you and give me the tag of a dog, of what my outward appearance shows to you. But I am nothing but a rare breed, whose actions are unique and undefined under the thoughts of mind, so the brains can process what it sees. I am nothing but a rare breed who takes the hits of life, twists and turns it into different paths, arranged with success glittering. Call me a weirdo by what my actions appear to you, but I am specially kept out, tagged with the mark of greatness, where my every step is ordered according to how the maker designed it, not even by my decisions. My color might be the same as yours, but the processor of my brain drives faster than yours. I am nothing but a rare breed whose eyes are lit like the shape of stars filled with different colors. Let not your statistics deceive you, for I cannot be defined. I am nothing but a rare breed.
Gome, another big gun for Gome, ladies and gentlemen. What a rare breed that we're going to have tonight. Anyways, as it gets way and way much more exciting, just turn around or just look to your left or probably to your right. Anyone that you're sitting close to and say hi. Say hi again, hi. And go like, welcome to Waharaba. They are selling drinks inside. Buy me a drink. Or buy me food probably. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you have been waiting for, as I said already, this guy has performed that look of stuff. Wait, oh, what's with the noise? What's with the noise? Thank you very much, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you've been waiting for, Taunga Tajan Konjira and Rabi, sorry, you guys are making noise, thank you very much. The moment that you've been waiting for, this guy after performing at Lake of Stars in 2015 as well as 2016, also performing at Tumaini Festival last year and this year is released an EP which is titled Broken Keys. Tonight we'll be premiering the poem which is titled Poetry in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Marumbo Sichinga.
Drunk. I remember those 2 a.m. drunk phone calls, drunk texts, drunk poems that needed not to have been written nor sent, but they were read anyway. You see, we were that lasting fragrance on each other's shirts, that scent of missing someone at 2 a.m. We were each other's lovers and lovers of 2 a.m. drunk phone calls that left us wondering what love was if not for 2 a.m. drunk phone calls. We were each other's air, breathing down each other's windpipes, trying to find life deep within us. We were each other's life, and usually we formed into waves that ended up in tears at 2 a.m. You see, a wise man once told me that nothing good ever happens after 12, and 2 a.m. is no exception. And so, just like doctors pretending that they give life because they catch babies, it is you and I pretending that we have forgotten what it feels like Such that when I'm drunk late at night trying to dial my mother, I end up dialing you. But your dial tone has an underlying dying tone that tells me that love never lived here, never existed. Which means we run out of air. Which means we run out of steam to run the train of 2 a.m. thoughts on track. And so one must accept defeat and stop looking for love at the bottom of an empty glass. Only then maybe will I be free of these 2 a.m. drunk phone calls, drunk texts, drunk poems that needed not to have been written, but were felt anyway. Thank you. Damn it. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and for bearing with us while we're going through the technical difficulties. Thank you to everyone at the Bangaga Poetry Movement, everyone who helped out with sound, lights, video, Theo, I don't know, too many people to thank. Everyone for coming out. Please give yourselves a round of applause. So this first segment is poems for poets, because sometimes poets write poems for other poets. Poet B. Breathe, poet, because the fires that burn within require inhalations of oxygen to keep that fire burning, so that you can bleed, poet, because from your heart flows the crimson fluid that flows through your heart up to the vessels that are in your mind, so that you can be, poet, because that is who you are. Far in your own realms and galaxies of adjectives, verbs and nouns, because sometimes, poet, you must wail, poet, because your cries echo and transcend language and culture. They take us to a greener pasture, so that you must want, poet, want to be heard and be remembered, because his critics will have you feeling dismembered, because all your members were put into the words that form those pieces that they tore into pieces. But sometimes you must dream, poet. Dream far and wide, so that you can dance, poet, dancing hard to the rhythm of your heartbeats and the heartbeats of your listeners, so that you can dare, poet, daring with each swing and thrust of your pen like a sword, so that with this swing and thrust like a paintbrush, painting the canvas that is your mind. And when the time comes, you must prophesy, poet. Speak of the now, predict the present, because proverb prophets pieces by preacher poets provide proverbs prospects. And when the time is right, you must live by these 3 simple rules. Live, love, love. Live in the moment. Live for poetry. Live to laugh. Laugh hard. Laugh with all your heart. With all your heart you must love. Love God. Love your maker. Love to make love. Because when the time is coming where poets must stand up and speak on the present, they must speak for our time. They must speak for our generation. They must tell them of the things to come. So, poet, I wrote this poem for you. It serves as a time capsule that holds these words for you, so that when that time comes, they must hear your words. Thank you. Something smart for me to quote. Say something we can both agree you wrote. Say something we can export aboard a boat to an instant country far abroad to young minds waiting to be taught. Say something that goes past corners, 90-degree angles, concrete blocks, something that isn't sticks and stones but still breaks bones found in rib cages, something to free us from these ages, something not written in these pages. Say 1,000 words to build a new Rome. You see, when in Rome, do as the homies do. They are saying something for the priest, who is saying something for the blind follower who doesn't see that saying something is against their belief. It's like Adam, trying to speak from behind their leaf. You see, we are naked and exposed, lacking convictions in our prayers. So say something that doesn't sound right but is right, because it's not all right to watch when you can't fight, but don't fight when you should be saying something instead. Because what good is a story if it's never told? A lesson if it's never taught. A parable with no meaning. A poem with no feeling. A tree with no leaves and a pond with no fish. And so I am here fishing for words, and with this sea of people, see it fit to say something, rather than die in silence for nothing. Because silent thoughts are loud decisions that enter our details into the penitentiary system. You see, we are locked in and in dire need of emancipation. So be like Mr. Marley. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can. None but ourselves can say the words that are the building blocks to the key that turns the lock to free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy and all those that don't say something, because none of that can stop the time. Say 1,000 words to build a new Rome. So I want you to understand that I'm not advocating vain ramblings. And so this poem is welcoming you to Word Architecture 101, Lesson 1, creating realms of hope just for fun. Peace without a gun. The lessons on the placements of your new hieroglyphs has just begun. Word to my son, who will understand that this poem was not an advocation for vain ramblings, but that if he wants to be heard, if he truly wants to be heard, he must say something. Premiering a new video called Poetry in Africa. But before that, I'm gonna play you two videos that we did. One was done using amateur footage and it's called Stay. I performed it at brunch. And the other one is called Misfit, and it's the first ever poem I showed with Theo. I hope you enjoy them. I'm just gonna do Misfit, go find you the video, and then we're going to play it on the projector. Is that cool? Cool. Misfit. You see, I am a misfit. In this world, but not of it. Alien to your kind. I find that in my mind I am one of the kind. You see, I'm that square in your circle, the grey palette in your spectrum. I see color in darkness, I see provision in lack. I am by their descriptions whack. I am the black sheep, the tears of joy as you weep. I am awake as you sleep. I am not of your kind. I am an encryption, a depiction of weird thoughts, codes, signs and symbols hidden in the art of Leonardo da Vinci. I am a kiss of betrayal, the sound of 3 coins, the audacity to still attend the Last Supper. Many men have labored asking to decipher what I am about. I keep telling them, I'm that winding road that stems from your runabout. I am a shirt turned inside out, a door with no handle, a Jew with no sandals, a Tumbuka with no capitals wearing a suit that doesn't fit because I missed my fitting. I am a priest that was hanged. I am the reason he was hanged. I am the confessions of the king which he divulged, and for this deed indeed was I hanged. I am the elephant in the room, the heavy words not spoken, the awkwardness in my step, the dryness in my joke, the diet in your coke. I am the virgin, the sober drunk, your favorite cliche. But I'm not, however, whatever they say. I am no god, no ruler of my own sheep. I am a mere vessel of clay, and I know this. I am no novice, but by God's will, I am a misfit. Thank you. Right, so we're just going to quickly set up the projector for the first 2 videos, and I'm going to go change and invite my friend Jonathan to connect his guitar for the second session, which is poems that I did for people. So this next set of poems are for you. Thank you very much.
Are you having some good time tonight?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, Marumbo. I almost heard the ladies screaming. So as we wait for that to happen, our humble responsibility is to make sure that you guys are fed with words, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, Mima, as they're doing such. So I'm going to take advantage of what Janai is doing, setting up his guitar, because I just want to hear some minor chords being played there. Don't even shake your head like that. You have no idea if I can do hip-hop or not. Don't give me that. You have no idea what I'm capable of doing. Okay, so Jenna, give me anything nice and easy, sweet and sexy, the way it's supposed to be with my candid voice. You know, people are probably waiting for you. Okay, so this one's some minor chords. Something sweet from Jana. A big hand for Jana, ladies and gentlemen. My life of a relationship didn't work. It is to the nap of this human heart. Talk of the age of 19 when I lost my virginity to a lady slightly older. And just like many younger boys, it was based on many lies that I told her. Just to hold her and show I had so much to prove, like I had much more experience than she thought she knew. And even though it wasn't true, it was amazing. But it ended because I did what most younger boys do. I listened to the lies and the rumors of a fool. which ultimately led to this poor girl getting sucked in the jaws in the middle of a school. And even though I didn't do it, I felt like I was the one to blame, because the girl who hit her was the cousin of my man who was part of my gang. Now it is just, don't seem cool. Now tell me, what the hell am I supposed to do? And then a wise man told me something sweet. He said the only way out is the way through. Got me saying, guys, let's put some chichewa in it. Nkazi kaneva sana nane pako ndikukana nangaziteka bwanji ngati iwe ukukana okumanama okumanena kutindine mfana monekedwe apusisa sine wachi bwana ndilibenda kamako machikondi sikukhala bwana zidigidila hachifilika wili tingo gwilizana tipange banja tileleana tipange chumba chosata tinjoye nawo divine nawo akondwelele kosata akalinzika ofilika khalidwe lako lofatsa masoro ako nkazi tochepa bwino ngati sulira kumwetulira kusekerera pa nthawi yokufunsira unakaziwa nkazi mene ine ndimakufirira. A round of applause for me, ladies and gentlemen, for such an amazing performance. I know I'm good. I know I'm good. When you said, please let me know. Are you said Maru? You are?
Apologies. So what we'll do, I'm just going to let them set up, and I'm just going to go into the second part of the night. This next poem is titled When It Rains. On the eve of the night that we met, it rained cats and dogs and all forms of guilt and shame. And so I opened up an umbrella to cover us from the rains. We walked. And as we walked, we talked, and she began to open up to me. Much like how the heavens had opened the taps, hidden in the thick gray clouds, her words came down on me like torrential rainfalls. She told me of how the words of the many men that had come through and used her had her feeling more battered and abused than the despicable things that they had done with her. And yet somehow these words had provided wind to her sails, so on nights like these, she became her alter ego. An ego. An ego with broken wings, but an ego nonetheless. She showed me her arms, showing me her recent scars. She said these were the marks from the arrows of Cupid. She stopped believing in love. She felt it was stupid. She stopped believing in love and in mankind too. She felt mine was the kind to watch, but never tell the time. Mine wanted to be the witness, judge, and the jury. So in the case that the case was to go to trial, the evidence would point to the fact that all they seem to see in us is sin. The last time she stepped foot in a church, the preacher in the nice white tailor suit was talking about God, love, money, bread, and the dead coming to life. But a week later, he was on these same streets trying to transact with her an expression of love with money. And yet still, all they seem to see in us is sin. Forgetting that we are a projection of their thoughts. You see, what you see around you is a product of who you are. Perspective is the lens with which life speaks. And so sometimes she felt unheard. And so silently she walked these alleys corner to corner trying to make ends meet. And sometimes she felt unseen, and so she asked me, but what do you see? And would you imagine at this point that the intensity of the rain increased, and I heard a thunderclap far off in the distance, as if a being much greater than her and I was listening in on our conversation and telling me not to lie. And so I told her, I see a young confused soul. I see in your left eye a path that was left there to lead me to the knowledge of why the world isn't right. But I see a spark within you that can light up this very dark night. Dark night? I don't believe in Batman or Superman or any man. As a matter of fact, I've never seen no dark nights in shining armor. I'm no damsel in distress waiting for her Denzel. I want light-skinned brothers with dreams for sale. The kind that listen to J. Cole. The kind that don't save my kind. So don't save her, she don't want to be saved. Don't save her, she don't want to be saved. I told her, you needed the coals of this world to fuel that fierce fire inside of you. You needed pain to have clipped your wings so that you could look for a place of rest, a nest where eagles with broken wings can find rest, where every broken soul can find solace. You fool, heaven is full, she said. The time on her watch said 11, and in her train of thought, the train for heaven had left at 10, and it had left her then in this hellhole we call earth with all these men. It had left her then, a little girl at 10, in that room and that bed that her father had used on her first encounter with pain. And she would look pain in the eye to eye. But pain's looks were like guns with silencers aimed at her, trying to silence her, telling her to hush. Be quiet. Don't scream. And so when she couldn't scream, she would cry. Crying out beautiful melodies and symphonies of pain with ease. Psalms and prayers in her songs. She was a sinister singer of sinner songs. She was a piano with broken keys. Played too often and often, running out of keys to play open the locks on the doors of her life. And so she felt boxed in, trapped in the prison of her body, impregnated by these thoughts of these evil men. And so when she could no longer bear this brainchild, she would give birth to mournings, cries of despair that speak of no hope. In the morning she would cry, and when she cried it rained. And when it rains, God cries. When it rains, God cries to clear injustice off the fields of the hearts of men. When it rains, God cries to water the trees that provide shade to eagles with broken wings. When it rains, God cries to show that He will smile in the magnificent array of rainbows. So when it rains, remember that God will smile. To the next piece, and it's titled Stay. And I know that love is blind. And so with my eyes closed, I'm trying to find you, the real you, embedded in the depths of your soul. Understand that what my eyes can't see, my heart shall feel. What my mind doesn't understand, my soul shall know, making sense of what truly is real. And I know that love is blind, but that even it can see that you and me were meant to be. So baby, if I ask you to stay, would you please? And I understand that the last man that you trusted to lead your path was a pathological lie, hell-bent on trying to use your trust as a rope to pull himself out of his misery. He came mighty close to draining the truth and life out of you, but you persevered. You came out stronger, so trust me. A drunk man seldom tells a lie, and a lie if I ever say that I'm sober. And so far, you are my choice of drink. And so be my spirit. Let me drink you. Mix with my blood as you run in my vessels up to my heart. This heart that is rooms filled with baggage left by past mistakes and lovers that should have just remained friends. Up to my mind. Up to my mind to make me understand that sometimes perfection is only a stone's throw away. And so even though I'm never in the right frame of mind to tell, but what I can't tell in great detail is how much I want you to stay. Because often we found that we go through hoops and loops for each other, trying to complete the circle of life by never dying to ourselves. And we've become accustomed to the never-ending merry-go-round, so that it's become our custom to fill our lips with poison, so that every time that we kissed, we made acts of betrayal. We became each other's Judas, hanging our souls on trees, hoping that our bodies decompose and soil the ground where we had planted our seed of emptiness. Hoping that that seed grows into a big, beautiful tree. You see, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. We made beautiful music each time we ate of the forbidden fruit, feeling like it's Black Eden. But there was no serpent, so there was no deceit. This was no garden, so there were no trees. We lived in a concrete jungle, her and I, with the simple truths that we had exchanged for the lies. But herein lies the moral of this story. As I'm out here trying to get this money, baby, would you please stay? As we try to figure out what we're going to get the generator, baby, would you please stay? Stay. Showcase Misfits and then poetry in Africa. Alright, so one sec for John to just do his thing, and then we're gonna go into the next piece. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for coming on. that night as we sat and I asked you to show me the real you, and you held out your heart, and it was bare, just like your feet. And so when I asked you to dance, little did we know that through the soles of your feet that our souls would meet and that we would dance that night in spirit. You see, we were kindred hearts, art coming alive, poetry in motion, the ingredients of a love potion. We were chemical X, and we did fit like hand in glove, like songs of birds in love, like islands in the streams. Like the looks in the eyes of old couples who seem to be old enough to know all the steps to our dance, such that the steps we wish to take tomorrow, they have already danced in, and that the secret to old age is to keep dancing. And I'd like for your thoughts to meet mine. You see, you're not yet mine, but in my thoughts, I stand at the entrance of a tunnel looking down at you. You are my mind, and in you lies a reserve of blood diamonds, a rare land reserved for a heart much like mine, pumping precious life through the vessels that are mine. I'm trying to dig through the tunnel so as to find that mine, so as to make it mine, mine, oh mine, digging even deeper into the depths of your soul. And so I will sew myself to the seam of your skin, and we will seem to be made of one fabric. And I will be tailored for you, cut from the same cloth, designed from the same God. And one day I shall get down on one knee, asking that we should be something beautiful, something set in stone before the foundations of this earth were ever laid, something true, something one. But I know that that day may not be the day, so be patient. We serve the author of time, and so tomorrow will come our way. And I know that that day may not be the day, be calm. We serve the author of time, and so tomorrow will come our way. Thank you very much. I'd like to personally thank all of you for coming. It's been a very interesting evening. It's been a more interesting life. I've got a copy of my EP titled Broken Keys here with me. So if you need a copy, please find me. I'm over there at the end of the show. And right now we're going to play you 3 videos. The first video is called Misfits. It's the first ever video I ever did. I hope you enjoy it. Second video is called Stay. And third one is my new video called Poetry in Africa. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for coming on tonight.
I am that square in your circle, the great palette in your spectrum. I see color in darkness, I see provision in lack. I am by their descriptions whack. I am the black sheep, the tears of joy as you weep. I am awake as you sleep. I am not of your kind. I am an encryption, a depiction of your thoughts, codes, signs and symbols hidden in the art of Leonardo da Vinci. I am a kiss of betrayal, the sound of 3 coins, the audacity to still attend the last song. Many men have labored asking to decipher what I am about. I keep telling them, I am that winding road that stems from a roundabout. I am a shirt turned inside out, a door with no handle, a Jew with no sandals, a doomsday with no capitals wearing a suit that isn't fit because I must be fitting. I am a priest on his hand. I am the reason I was hanged. I am the confessions of the king which he devoured, and for this deed indeed was I had. I am the elephant in the room, the heavy words not spoken, the awkwardness in my step, the dryness in my joke, the died in my cook. I am the virgin, a sober drunk, your favorite cliche, but I'm not, however, whatever they say. I am no god, the ruler of my own sheep. I am a mere vessel of clay, and I know this. I am no novice, a reinvention of the rule, but by God's will, I am a misfit. And I know that love is blind. And so with my eyes closed, I'm trying to find the real you. Embedded in the depths of your soul, understand that what my eyes can't see, my heart shall feel. What my mind doesn't understand, my soul shall know, making sense of what truly is real. And I know that love is blind. But the little bit you can see that you believe to be, so maybe if I ask you to stay with you. And I understand that the last man that you trusted to lead your path was a pathological lie. No Benton tried to use your trust as a rope to pull himself out of his misery. He came mighty close to draining the truth of life out of you, but you persevered. You came out strong, so trust me. A drunk man seldom tells a lie, and a lie if I ever say that I'm sober and so far. You are my choice of drink. So be my spirit. Let me drink. Mixed with my blood as you water my vessels. These chambers that are rooms filled with baggage, love pride, past mistakes, and lovers that should have just remained friends. Out to my life. Enlighten my mind to make me understand that sometimes perfection is only a step forward. So, even though I'm never in the right frame of mind to tell, but what I can't tell you with detail is how much I want you to see. Because often we wonder we go through hoops and loops for each other, trying to complete the circle of life but never learning to ourselves. And we become accustomed to the never-ending merry-go-round, such that this become our custom within our lips, with poses that every time that we kiss, give me the answer to the truth. We became each other's dreams, hanging on the souls and trees, holding out our bodies to go things and silver and money to be, and that was a seed of infants. The seed grows into a leaf, pulling the tree set up in the water, and the seed of the trees, we make beautiful music each time we live for holding the fruit. Feeling like it's black here. Those were serpents, and those in the sea. Knowing no trees within a concrete jungle hovering high with the simple truths that we can exchange for the rest. And here lies the moral of this story. Trying to get this money baby to be pleased.
Poetry in Africa is more than the coffee maker standing up in church asking God to bless his business. It's more than Dashikis in different dialects. African poems direct us to the right paths. African poems are more deeply rooted than the roots of a baobab tree, the same trees we use in our villages to tell stories. They are more deeply rooted than the roots of our family trees. We are grafted branches of each other. We are family. How we were uprooted, out of the uprisings, the divisions of the villages, the divisions of the pie by buyers from a faraway country. Never the beggar, never the givers, always the takers. So African poems are taking back their lands. African poems are neither held together at the roots of a dreadlocked man speaking patois, telling us to go to freedom one step at a time. Like this was High School Musicals. African poems are not looking for murals or better lives, because you see, most of our fathers, many from villages, are not ghettos. African poems are also not always about poverty or rebuking selfish politicians who steal from a part of a nation where a portion of love and a concoction of trust should have been brewed together. African poems are not always about tea. Sometimes they form into mirrors, asking them to look into them and see what they have become. African poems are also not always about rebuking false prophets who take advantage of people's faith. They rebuke people who go to false prophets, wanting to receive things that they did not work for, so receive these words. African poems are also not always about rebuking malnourished children with big bellies begging for money. African poems try to give them hope, but they do rebuke big-bellied men with malnourished minds trying to take advantage of little girls. African poems don't always come with the customary fly buzzing about, sticking to the nose of the child, or the border concert asking you to save it. African poems are known by God, they know of redemption. African poems are also not always about war, blood, black skin, selling of each other to white folk in exchange for swords. African poems are more than just mere talk. They walk the walk. They have a certain swagger that knows of the certainty of pain, the certainty of loss, the birthplace of self-discovery. You see, the magnet bones of who we are come alive when the flesh of our true nature begins to come alive. African poems are also sometimes not politically correct. Sometimes they say things like nigger, like they were sitting on the guy's front porch in Memphis drinking tea with sugar from the plantations that hold their ancestors' bodies, thinking about the boats that carried their bodies there. African poems have dreams too. They talk to Dr. King. They have the story of the King of Kings manual in them. African poems are runways for the African child to land.
Again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. It has been a long evening. you all for coming on. I'd like to thank Jonathan for playing the guitar, providing the sound. I'd like to thank Film Poetry Movement for hosting me. Theo Thompson for shooting the video. And I don't know who was there forget. I don't know. Oh, Manny Sharon for setting up a computer. And a big thank you to William for coming on. Thank you.
For another round of applause for Marumbo, Sichinga, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you have it, Poetry in Africa. You can download the poem on YouTube, it is available. And you can also download Misfit and a number of other poems which is showed on YouTube. But the EP Broken Keys is actually available here. Just another reminder, okay, let me just show them. Broken Keys, the EP, it has been released this year, 2007. There are about like 6 poems in it. Drunk Stacy, something, maybe tomorrow, When It Rains, and as well as Misfit. And the copy is going at 3,000 kwacha? Yeah, 3,000 kwacha, the copy, the one copy. And on the 13th of December, we're having another show. That one is Fantasy of the Movement, with the Banganga Poetry Movement too. Please do come through and support the movement. But next week we are back again here for another open mic poetry session. My name is Yanko Songa. Thank you very much for coming. Have a good night.